A series of chemical reactions creates gases that build up over time. This growing pressure culminates in a dramatic eruption known as a spice blow, transforming into the precious spice melange amidst the high surface temperatures. The surviving sandtrout from this event would eventually merge, completing its metamorphosis into a young sandworm. The sandworms are some of the most iconic and fascinating creatures in science fiction. These enormous creatures can grow up to 400 meters in length and live for thousands of years, playing a crucial role in the planet's ecosystem and the cultural life of the Fremen. Sandworms are responsible for the drastic change of Arrakis, from a planet with oceans and vegetation into an unforgiving desert. It is part of the sandtrout life cycle to consume huge quantities of water, thereby eliminating it from the ecosystem. Despite its absence on the surface, water exists deep underground, allowing for the sandtrout and sandworm cycle to move forward. Even though sandtrout is attracted to water, it becomes very dangerous to them once they transform into a sandworm, even in small amounts. When water enters a sandworm's body, it triggers a rapid increase in its metabolism, pushing it to unstable levels. This metabolic surge causes the creature's vital functions to collapse, leading to an agonizing death. To the Fremen, sandworms hold a deep spiritual significance, representing the symbol of their faith. They worship them under the name Shayulid, the grandfather of the desert, and view them as the living manifestation of a god from their ancient Zensunni religion. The reverence for the sandworm symbolizes their respect for the ruthless desert and the eternal struggle for survival, believing that those colossal creatures embody the spirit of Arrakis. One of the most interesting ways the sandworm has influenced the Fremen is through the art of riding them, which is a vital coming-of-age trial in their culture. To ride a sandworm, a Fremen must climb on it while using a maker hook to expose its softer segments and guide it across the desert. They usually have to do this at 12 years old, and this is no small feat, requiring immense skill, bravery, and an intimate knowledge of the creature's behavior. Successfully riding a sandworm not only proves one's worth and strength, but also signifies a Fremen's full acceptance into their society. Sandworms are also directly tied to the prophecy of the Lisan al-Gaib, who will come and lead them to freedom. Paul Atreides earns their loyalty partly by mastering the desert and riding a sandworm, which is viewed as a fulfillment of the prophecy. Fremen society worshipping the sandworms might seem like a primitive belief system, but this is not as unreasonable as it appears. With the lack of vegetation on Dune, the metabolic activity of the sandworms is an important source of generating oxygen into the atmosphere, thus actively giving life to all other living organisms on the planet. It's probably safe to say that sandworms are the most important living creatures in the DUNE universe, being the only known source of spice melange. The story of the novel unfolds 20,000 years into the future, set in a world where humanity has eradicated all computers after a major event called the Butlerian Jihad. As a replacement for computers, people now depend on the mind-enhancing properties of the spice, a substance that grants extended life and heightened awareness. However, the spice is not just a fantastical element for the story, but the cornerstone of Dune's power structure and economy. With artificial intelligence being banned, this is an essential part of space travel, as it grants the Spacing Guild's navigators the prescience they need to safely guide the Highliners. The Emperor, while seemingly the absolute ruler of the known universe, is also bound by the economic dominance of Melange, as he must navigate the competing interests of the guild and great houses of the Landsraad. This serves as a metaphor for the crucial materials that have propelled human progress in the real world, with resources such as fossil fuel being at the center of political battles. For the Fremen, this substance is not just a valuable commodity, but an intrinsic part of their identity and spiritual life, with their characteristic blue eyes indicating that they are the heaviest consumers in the Imperium. They believe that the spice is a gift from the desert, bestowed upon them by the sandworms, and they view it as a sacred substance that not only sustains life but also enhances it, providing a pathway to transcendence. This reflects the gaining popularity of recreational drugs during the 1960s when Frank Herbert wrote the novel, with spice being seen as a metaphor for those substances, which were thought to enhance mental capabilities by awakening dormant areas of the brain. The popular drugs at the time were also known for being highly addictive, often leading users to increase their dosage to maintain the same level. The issue of spice addiction runs deep throughout the DUNE series, and it has been mentioned by multiple characters how unforgiving the withdrawal is. Paul Atreides once remarked on its insidious nature, comparing it to a poison that won't kill you unless you stop consuming it. Frank Herbert's DUNE is an immersive experience and stands as a masterclass in world-building for science fiction literature.